Welcome to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers, where the mission is simple: kill big deer, and I help buyers and sellers as a broker with land and home real estate. Today, our guest is someone that, when he was recommended, my buddies giggled like little girls. So I'm really excited to hear some funny stories, some good deer hunting stories, maybe some turkey, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better, Mr. Cody Meyer.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Dude, thanks for being here.
You bet.
Taking time away from Select Lawn Service.
Yes.
That's quite a cool gig that you got going there, man.
Yeah. Like I said, just something that I was in the business before and decided that I was ready to not answer to anyone else and answer to myself, and just kind of took off with it. Really didn't expect it to grow what it has grown into today. It's kind of surprised me, but I'm extremely thankful for everybody that supported me in that business and got me here, and I couldn't be happier with it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, being self-employed, a lot of times gives some freedom, some flexibility.
It's got some perks, most certainly, but it's also got some cons too. So everybody thinks when you're self-employed, that just means you get to work when you want, and you can take off when you want, and you don't have anybody. I say I don't have anybody to answer to. Actually, I do. I have about 300 people to answer to. Which is every one of my customers. They are my bosses.
Yeah.
But no, there's give and take, but I wouldn't change it for the world. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So you also do some farming?
I do some farming. Yeah. I've kind of got my finger in several different things. So the lawn care business is my main income, if you will.
Yeah.
And then I do some farming. I've got 3 different farm tracts that I own and manage in Greene County. Corn and soybeans on rotation, and then there's some timber on each of those.
Okay.
Which helps me with my hunting hobbies.
Right.
So between the actual farm ground itself and the tillable and the raising the corn crop and the soybean crop, and then harvesting some timber and managing things for the best possible deer or turkey, depending on what property we're talking about, definitely keeps me busy.
Okay. Now, your farms are away from you. You live here in Jerseyville,
I live
correct?
here in Jerseyville, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then being in Greene County.
Yeah. So there's a little travel. I was born and raised in Greene County, Greenfield. Okay. I've been married and divorced, so my marriage is actually what brought me here initially.
Okay.
And then my first job, or my career there for a while was here in Jerseyville. So it just worked out to be here. Yeah. And it still works out to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, Greenfield is only, 30 minutes away. My Rockbridge property is only 15 minutes away. So it's not like it's a huge obstacle. Yeah. But yeah, definitely a little bit of travel to go back and forth, but minimal compared to what some people do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, you're farming up there and you're hunting, and there's a lot that goes into both.
Oh, absolutely.
Being that you're commuting to do that, how does that how do you manage that process with regard to getting ready for deer hunting and stuff? Because even our leases, we hunt from Pittsfield all the way to south of Hardin.
Yep.
And sometimes the logistics of preparation can be challenging.
Seeing that it's a 30-minute commute, typically if I'm, deer or turkey hunting, for the most part, I just adjust my arrival schedule, So, I mean, some people, if you're living on a property, you could, get up a little bit. I just have to get up earlier.
Right.
Or head out earlier or whatever. One of my farms actually has a cabin, if you will, on it.
Oh, cool.
It's like an old construction trailer.
All right.
It's got heat and AC in it, and a kitchen and two bedrooms. And so I actually do have a property that I can stay on if I want to.
Yeah.
There's power and everything else, and we mow it down. It's got a fire pit.
Oh, awesome.
So I have a little campground, if you will.
Okay.
But my parents, my folks live right smack in the middle of everything. So I can always crash there if I need to. But like I said, the logistics of it, luckily, isn't something where I'm traveling an hour plus or something like that. Usually with just, a little bit of mental preparation, you can make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. What are you doing right now in terms of getting ready for deer season?
So I'm slacking.
Okay.
Is what I'm doing. I've probably got 30 cell cameras, reveal cell cameras that I run between my folks' farm and my different properties and everything else. And all of my friends are sending me deer pictures.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look at this. And I'm like, dude, I ain't even got my cameras out yet. And I just started over this past weekend getting a few cameras out.
Okay.
So out of my 30 cell cameras that I run, I've probably got 10 of them out. I've still got a lot to go. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my properties they're locked up. So like, I'm going to use one of my dad's properties, for example. Mm-hmm. Great deer hunting. One of my favorite places to deer hunt. But my dad is a typical farmer that likes to waste no ground. Yes. So he does not leave a path or a space around the edge of his fields to navigate back to the timber.
Okay.
He farms right to the edge because if he doesn't, that's lost profit. Why in the world would I leave a 10-foot gap between the crop and the edge of the woods when I can plant right to the edge of the woods and get another 6 rows in? Right. Granted, the deer are going to eat every ear off of it.
Right.
But,
protection rows.
Correct. So, and he's going to yell at me the minute that I knock anything down to try to go around the edge. Yeah. And this time of year, the woods is nasty. Yeah. It's grown up. It's green. It's hot. It's humid. There's cobwebs everywhere. You're smacking when you're... And if I can't... As I get older, I get lazier. Right. And if I'm
smarter.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it. So, if I'm going to go put cameras up, I'm either in the truck with everything in the extended cab with the AC going. Yep. Or I'm at least on the four-wheeler. Right. Where I can have a couple crates strapped on the basket, and get everything going. If I have to walk to put those cameras up, I'm out. Right. Yeah. So there's actually a couple of deer hunting spots that I don't even get cameras up where I truly want them until the crop comes out. Okay. Season might have been in for a week by that point. Right. So it just depends. But I definitely, on my properties, I allow for access. Mm-hmm. And so I can get them out on my properties pretty quick. But on some of my dad's ground, I'm at the mercy of when he decides to take the inrows off. Right. But we make it work. It's actually been a couple years since I've killed a giant. Okay. So I'm due. All right. But I do well year in and year out. So we're very blessed and very lucky to have a good area. We're hunting in a good area, and we own good ground. Yeah. Some areas just don't have deer. I mean, they'll have deer, don't get me wrong, but they don't have jaw-dropping deer. Right. Or anything to get what I would consider excited about. I have people contact me all the time like, what are you doing to keep these big deer on your property? And I'm not saying, I mean, we're leaving a little bit of, we'll leave some standing food or whatever, but a lot of it is just it's just the area. Some areas just don't hold big deer. It doesn't matter what you do. Right. They just don't. And then you've got other areas that, you could be in and out of there every day almost, it seems like, and there's still big deer there. So I think a lot of it just has to simply do with where you're at. Right. Yeah. What do you think some of the factors are on that? It's so hit and miss. Okay. Because like I said, I've got my theory has always been stay out. Okay. If you want to keep big deer, stay out. Yeah. You can't be in there side by side riding every day. You can't be in there cutting wood every day. You can't be in there, making your presence known all the time. Stay out. Leave it like a sanctuary and get in there, when you need to. Okay. But I've got people prove me wrong all the time. I know guys that are in their woods riding dirt bikes and cutting wood for their wood-fired furnace, and all this stuff, and they still kill a monster out of it. Right. And it's like, my God, I'm out here, like, staying out of my property, like not utilizing it, thinking I got to stay out to kill a big deer. And then I got these other guys that are walking in there in bib overalls, with a beer in their hand after they just finished cutting a cord of wood and kill a 180.
Right.
And it's like, what in the world?
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost like you got to pick your style and roll with it.
Yep. It is. It really is. And like I said, my style is stay out. That's just how I am. I'm not a big side-by-side rider, and I'm so busy with, like we talked about, between my job and farming and everything like that. I don't have a ton of what I would call free time.
Right.
My hobbies are staying busy and making money. That's my hobby.
Right.
And so, like I said, it's I tend to leave my properties alone as much as possible, but like I said, different strokes for different folks.
Right. Yeah. Now, where you're at, do you have a lot of topography, like hills, valleys, and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My dad's place has a lot of coves and nooks and crannies and ups and downs and ups and downs.
Okay.
He kind of rides a big ridge line on part of his property, so the tillable is flat.
Okay.
But he does have a lot of topography. My other farms, again, there is a lot of ditches and stuff like that. So, I mean, guys out west would probably laugh if you called that topography. But
right.
For the Midwest,
right,
I would definitely consider it topography. I mean, we've got. It's not like it's just open flat land. There's definitely some character to it.
Okay, so you got timber and habitat and
correct
thickets,
CRP.
So, yeah.
And like I just logged my Rockbridge farm.
Okay.
Had the timber cut. It was hard to walk through before we cut the timber. It was thick. It was nasty.
Yeah.
It held wildlife, but it was hard to navigate.
Yeah.
And then after we harvested it, now I've got these beautiful logging roads going through it that I spray and I keep manicured, and I can walk from one end of the property to the other end of the property through the woods now. And before, that was a nightmare. And the deer are loving it. I can see where they're using the logging roads. I'm starting to get some turkey in there now. I didn't have it before because the timber was just so nasty.
Yeah.
Turkey they like a little bit of open space to strut or to, just to congregate.
Right.
And by logging it, some people are kind of against it, but I love it. I think logging is one of the best things you can do for a timber.
Yeah.
If it's mature.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, that's definitely a big thing.
Right. To me, it's like there's so many rabbit holes you can go down.
Oh, yeah. I built a pond.
Okay.
I had a big area that was kind of what I would consider waste. It was waste. It was just a big waterway that kind of wishbone shaped that cut down through there. And I mean, there's nothing to do but mow it.
Right.
You can't bale it because it was so steep, the bales would just roll down to the center,
Yeah.
It was just literally what I would have considered just kind of waste ground. Like, what do you do with it?
Right.
So we dammed it up. We spent 2 weeks moving dirt and built a 20-foot dam on one side of it and got the standpipe out and let those wishbone waterways fill that up, and it's a 2-acre pond now.
That's awesome.
And so now it's beautiful. There's ducks on it. There's geese on it. The wildlife come and drink from it.
Yeah.
And before it was just a nasty old soggy water hole.
Okay.
So always stuff that you can do like that if you've got the ability to do it to kind of help improve the habitat.
Is that the same farm that you're now seeing turkeys on too?
Correct.
Yeah. Something that's really interesting. I never knew how important water was to turkeys.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
And that's where we see them. So my dad checks on it every now and then for me. We'll run down there with the shredder or, just go look at the crop and see how things are doing because I'm 30 minutes away and he's 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
So a lot of times he will just, in his daily travels, just swing in there.
Yeah.
And he's texted me on multiple occasions and said, "Hey, there's I just saw 6 turkeys on your property there." I said, "No kidding. Where were they?" Every time it's on the pond dam.
Right.
Every time on the pond dam, crossing by the pond dam.
Okay.
And I'm sure it has something to do with water. I mean, every animal has to drink, and if you don't have a creek on the property, where are they going to quench their thirst?
Right.
They got to have somewhere. And so putting a good water source on your property is huge.
Yeah. So what brought it to light for me, I guess, was those water tubs.
Yes.
People getting trail cam pics of turkeys consistently on their water tubs.
Yep. The only thing that kind of, and I've never done it, so these people probably know more than I do, but I would think that on a water tub, because I've seen it, they're like fish pond liners.
Yeah.
And they bury them in the woods and let them fill up with water or whatever.
Yeah.
I would just think they would get nasty, stagnant and moss and just gross, but I've never tried it, so I can't knock it. But in my mind, it seems like there would be a lot of fallbacks to that, but maybe there's not. I don't know.
I think, there's a order to everything. A pond, like an actual pond,
right?
I think would be reign supreme over any of that.
You may not have the topography for a pond. You may not have the
space. You're trying to get them
money
in front of your stand.
Building a pond isn't cheap,
right?
So if you're somebody that's working with limited resources, a small piece, or you're on a budget, you got to do what you got to do.
Let's face the facts. It's the only legal way in the state of Illinois to attract wildlife.
Yeah.
Right?
The only legal
it's the only legal way to do it.
Yeah.
I think that I have concerns with people just digging the mud holes.
Right.
I think that you're kind of creating habitat for the midge flies,
mosquitoes, and I've heard rumors like with the EHD,
yes,
like too many tongues and saliva in one small pool of water. Like I've heard that will spread. I don't. And again,
that would be CWD.
Or CWD.
I think.
I'm sorry.
But that's a prion.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it could do a water tub dirty, but I think what it is from them, pooping where they eat.
Yeah.
So
again, in a small area, in a small tub like that, not saying it's going to happen, but I think it could be a very, very real possibility.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that stuff, any of the diseases, you got to follow the cattle industry.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like everything's real bought and paid for in the hunting world.
Yep.
And then the farming seems to be where a lot of these diseases evolve from or
I've
transfer from.
I've seen people clean those things out too. They'll clean that water hole, that artificial water hole out, and bring a tank. They'll have a tank, a 50-gallon tank strapped on their side-by-side or something, and put fresh in it.
And that's what you would want to do, probably annually.
Yeah.
There are some products available. Like I use a specific product that treats the water to make sure it's not good habitat for biting insects.
Sure.
It also traps them.
Yep.
And then like when they land on the water, it kind of catches them.
Correct.
So it kills the adults.
Gotcha.
So you're kind of attacking each phase,
sure,
if you will. But the things that you want to watch out for is you don't want to put any additive, right? I've talked to guys in other states. They're like, well, I put some mineral in the water. That actually will create the habitat for the.
Yep.
Then you want to make sure where it's set up, you're not creating mud around it. For example, if the tub overflows consistently, you can be creating that habitat.
Right.
So in my preference, what I like to do is they're smaller tubs. They're like the feeding bucket for horse or cattle. Just imagine those little buckets that you see on the ground in like a horse stall or a horse paddock where you dump the grain into it. We have to fill them, but we fill them when we go to the stand, or we fill them, weekly, and it kind of, hopefully creates a little bit of conditioning.
Right.
But
as long as you're in there filling it, you don't want to just start before season because that's going to throw things out of whack. But if they're used to you,
they like it
conditioning
fast.
is big. Yeah.
I've gone to one time where I had to go find it, and what's going on in my mind is that it's kind of like a mature buck travel corridor where he's going to enter, and it got empty, and I think he got ticked
really?
off and was pawing at it.
Yeah.
And I had to go literally
Yeah.
10, 15 yards, pick it up, put it back in its spot, and fill it.
There's so many things anymore. I mean, there's that. There's people using these hemp ropes now.
Yeah.
Where they're hanging the hemp ropes, and the bucks are just, basically, I guess, rubbing their glands on it. And there's, in my situation with farm ground, you don't have to cut all your grain. It's not illegal to leave standing corn.
No.
It's not illegal to leave standing beans. Like, hey, I left it. Now, if you go knocking it down or if you walk out there with a bucket and start shaking grain out, now you're getting in trouble.
Right. You can't physically put bait.
Correct.
But
ground's or crop is crop.
Right. But let's say you need to mow a path through your standing corn. That's fine. Correct.
As long as it's done, like I said, you got to stay within the legal parameters. But water huge, habitat huge, access for deer and turkey huge.
Let's talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers, where the mission is simple: kill big deer, and I help buyers and sellers as a broker with land and home real estate. For those of you just joining, our guest, Cody Meyer, Select Lawn Service, and we were just talking about access.
Yeah.
What does access mean to you?
To me, well, there's two forms of it, I guess. There's access for me, as a hunter.
Yep.
And then there's access for the game.
Okay.
There's access for my wildlife.
Yeah.
So stand access, I guess, is one kind of access. How am I going to slip into this stand, or how am I going to get into this setup without being busted?
Mm-hmm.
Or, is the wind going to be right, or whatever the case may be. And then I guess your other access would be your wildlife access. Where are they traveling?
Right.
Are they running a field edge? Are they actually commuting through the timber? Are they running a creek edge, a water edge? Are they running a bluff? So you got to kind of mesh those two different styles of access together.
Right.
And if you've got deer that are running a field edge, and you've got to stand on a field edge, you either want to get in there at a time when the deer aren't utilizing it, or find a different, there's so many factors that go into it, I guess. You just have to, and it's different. It's different case to case. Not every situation's the same, obviously, but blending those two together to maximize it without interfering too much with your wildlife is big.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not a secret anymore. A lot of times what we do for field edges,
right,
we drive right to the stand.
Yep.
And
there are a lot of people that do. I don't.
Right. Well, if you're,
I'm old school, man. I literally have a neighbor at one of my properties that has several people that hunt, and I can hear that side by side in the morning before light, dropping hunters off at each stand.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, and this is just me, I'm thinking, what in the heck? I'm like, I parked a mile away,
mm-hmm,
and snuck in on foot, because the last thing I want heard by my stands, and that's that's just how I grew up hunting. Is, hey, if you want to kill a big deer, you're going to have to put in some hoof. And nowadays, like I said, I know some people that actually build blinds that are big enough to where they can park their side-by-side underneath of the blind.
Right. Yeah. To each their own.
And
I feel like the louder the side-by-side, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That piques the curiosity.
Well, the John Deere Gator?
Yeah.
Say a farmer's got a John Deere Gator for us. I ask to use it because they're used to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's harmless to them.
Yep.
And, man, those things are loud.
Oh yeah. Same way with farm equipment.
Yeah.
Combines, tractors. They don't care.
A diesel's the dinner bell.
Yeah. I've seen so many big deer from the cab of a tractor or a combine that don't give a crap
Right.
that we're there. But the minute it stops or it disappears, or you come in with a truck,
Right.
or in some cases a four-wheeler, they're gone. But because it's a combine, it's like, oh, that is no threat to them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So when you're accessing a field edge, you're doing it on foot.
Typically.
Does that come into, do you factor that in when you're hanging the stand, putting the setup together?
Yes, pretty much always, because like I said, I'm 100% a stand hunter.
Okay.
I do not hunt from blinds.
Okay.
I hate hunting from the ground. I hate it.
Okay.
Some people love it.
Right.
I hate it. I do not like hunting from the ground. I like being elevated.
Mm-hmm.
I can see better. I get my scent off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, I've always grown up in a stand.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people nowadays, they've got these redneck blinds and these 360s. And don't get me wrong, I do actually have one because I've got a 4-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And she likes to tag along sometimes, and there ain't no way she's going to be quiet enough or still enough to be in a stand.
Right.
So I've killed a few deer out of that just to try to get her into it.
Yeah.
But when I'm trophy hunting, or I'm hunting for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hunting from the air.
Yeah.
And typically, like I said, with the way our farms are situated, we can always park close enough that the walk isn't exhausting.
Right.
It's not like we're trying to access public ground and we're parking 3 miles away from where we're going to hunt or further.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking a half mile, a mile, whatever. But I'm still accessing it on foot.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you do any like screening or anything like that to kind of hide you, or do you work the edge, walk the middle? How do you manage that?
So like when I leave standing grain, a lot of time I'll create a wall.
Yeah.
Like I'll leave 5 or 6 rows
Mm-hmm.
of beans or corn between that very, very timber edge and the field.
Yeah.
So that way, if I do want to slip in, I can stay on the field side
Okay.
of that natural screen.
Yeah.
But then once I get in the air, I can see right over it. Because if you're ground blind hunting, that screen's gonna in your screen's on the timber side.
Right.
You can't see into the field because your screen blocks it.
Right.
But if I'm 15, 16 feet in the air, I can shoot right over that screen. It doesn't matter what side the deer comes in on. CRP is another thing. We'll leave a lot of, we have a lot of just set aside that is good for bedding and stuff like that we'll use as a buffer or a space. So yeah, we play it, and it's usually playing it while also incorporating it as a food source, because if it's standing beans or standing corn, not only is it creating a screen, there's food there. So it's kind of a 2-for-1.
Right.
I've got a neighbor that lives just a little ways down from me that plants pampas grass.
Yeah.
It starts out as these little 4-foot clusters, and then they grow into 20-foot clusters.
Yeah.
And it's literally pampas grass, and he divides some of his hunting area up into sections with this grass.
Yeah.
Like normally it would just be one big area, but now it's 4 areas because he's created these natural walls to where he can. It's neat.
Like a visual obstruction.
Correct.
So they have to move in front of you to go check out each
It's like
specific
it's like an
corridor.
escape room. You know, there's different nooks and crannies. Now the deer, sure, they can jump through the grass if they wanted to, but from visual or comfort or security, it's kind of a game changer. It's cool.
Yeah. Yep. I'm short on his name, but there's a guy in Michigan that claims he kills all these huge deer on his little tract in Michigan, which is got a lot of hunters and a lot of small land parcels. So it's hard to grow big deer up there. I can't think of his name, but he wears these yellow glasses, so you know he's serious.
I think I've seen him online. I mean, he's on social media.
Yeah, he's got food plots everywhere, and he claims he's going to hunt the same stand and get them to the food sources during the rut, checking each particular corridor. But I think I've personally seen it on probably one of the biggest deer I've ever seen from the stand. He came out and I was well off my food plot, but he had to get a visual, of my food plot to see if there were any does there.
Yeah.
He had already checked everything that had entered, it wasn't CRP, but it was, grown up pasture ground. And he could not resist going to get a peek at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the other thing people ask me a lot about too is food plots.
Mm-hmm.
What are you planting? You planting turnips or clover or chicory or turnips, or what are you planting? And honestly, and again, everybody's going to have a different opinion, but I don't do many food plots.
Okay.
I do, and again, I'm in the farming industry, so
right.
I'm not. Some people aren't going to be able to do what I do just because of the nature of what their career is.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm standing grain.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do food plots and then leave standing beans. Food plots and then leave standing beans. They wouldn't touch my food plots, my green plots.
Okay.
Did not care. You know where they were? In the middle of those beans.
Mm-hmm.
They were chest high in those beans, and they were going to town. And those food plots just those green plots just sat there.
Mm-hmm.
I will hunt standing beans over anything, any day, anytime, anywhere, 200%. Standing corn versus standing beans, give me the beans every freaking time.
I'm with you on that. I prefer beans over corn.
Yeah.
But if you were to go 20 years ago, I was corn.
Yeah.
And I feel like somehow they've transitioned or morphed into beans more so.
My favorite time to hunt is obviously the rut, because there's one thing on a deer's mind in the rut.
Yeah.
They don't even care about food or water at that point. I mean, they'll get so run down that they're panting.
Right.
So in the rut, it's just find the does.
Right.
Which you find the does, sooner or later it's going to pay off for you. You're going to see something. And then my other favorite time of the year to hunt is late season.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm very fortunate in our area that people don't shoot whatever. Some
right.
people live in areas where, if it's brown, it's down.
Right.
They don't care about how, if they're going to go kill a 110-inch deer, it's whatever. You get made fun of if you kill a 110-inch deer where I'm at, and not that I'm knocking anybody that wants to hunt for that purpose, but, that's just not something that happens where I'm at.
Right.
All of the landowners and neighbors and everybody in my area, for the most part, unless they're taking a small child out or something to kill their first deer.
Yeah.
We're fortunate because everybody typically manages their deer. They have a standard.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not so big, we're going to let it walk. Yeah. And I can rest confident that if I let a 130-inch deer walk across my neighbor's line, I'm not going to hear a gunshot 10 minutes later.
Right.
I'm confident he's going to let it pass too. And that's how we are getting bigger and bigger and bigger bucks.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's the other thing, is making sure that your neighbors are on the same page with you. And they're doing the same stuff. Food plots, leaving some standing grain, doing what they can do to get water incorporated. So it's not just my property that's playing into it. It's everybody's property that's playing into it. The deer are getting bigger, and it's just, we're fortunate that we're in an area that's like that.
Okay.
So, and we have a lot of outfitters too.
Yeah.
In our area. There's Buckhorn Outfitters, which is really close to us.
Okay.
They have a lot of property. And, they're the same way. People aren't paying money to come in and shoot a 2.5-year-old.
Right.
They're coming in to kill something with some size, and, they have a management program as well.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It's nice. When you think of a management program, how do you factor does into that?
Kill plenty of them.
Okay.
Some people don't. Does, overpopulation in deer is just like fish in a pond.
Mm-hmm.
If you get your bass overpopulated in a pond, every one you catch is a pound.
Right.
You don't get those 6-pound bass. Every one of them you catch weighs 1.5 pounds.
Right.
You've got to thin some does out.
Yeah.
You have to.
I agree.
There are some places that won't even let you shoot a buck unless you shoot a doe first.
Right.
In Illinois here, we can kill 2 bucks. There's a 2-buck limit, and then, as many does as you want to kill if you want to purchase the tags.
Right.
I'm on the fence with the buck thing. I know a lot of people are like, I wish we'd go to 1 buck. That'd sure save a lot of younger bucks from being shot if you knew you didn't have that that other possibility still hanging out there, which I see that too. But I kill a lot of deer, and then I donate them.
Yes.
I've got people that hit me up every single year that just want to put meat in their freezer. Burger's expensive.
Right.
You go to the store and try to buy ground chuck, I mean, you're talking like $6 a pound.
Right.
You know, whatever. And I literally have a list of folks. Every year I have a list. And I'll go out, and if I get a doe that just gives me a chip broadside shot and I've got a tag for her, I'm taking her. They'll throw me $20, you know, just as a donation,
right.
you know, to say, hey, appreciate you putting it down for me.
Yeah.
I'll even field dress it half the time, gut it.
Yeah.
Throw it in my truck, say, hey, come grab it. They come and grab it. They can either process it themselves, take it to a local processor, whatever. They filled their freezer for a fraction of the cost of going to the grocery store.
Exactly.
So I'll kill plenty of does, and you're not putting a dent in that doe population. You're not.
Right.
Here anyway.
Well, interesting enough, you know, it's more than dabble, but as you farm,
Mm-hmm.
and you're a hunter,
Mm-hmm.
you've got a unique perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you do any like nuisance permits or anything like that?
I did one time.
Yeah.
And it was when I was younger, and it was when I was just in kill mode.
Yeah.
You know, when you're younger, your outlook of deer hunting changes as you age.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, I just liked to kill deer.
Right.
I mean, I still do.
Right.
But I like pulling the trigger.
It's a rush.
It's a rush, you know?
Yeah.
And so my dad, he's not a hunter. He's just strictly a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
He says kill them all.
Right.
He wishes I'd kill 60 deer
Right.
because the outside 8 rows on a field makes 0, bushel to the acre because it's gone between the deer and the coons.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, kill them all. Well, so that's the farmer look at it. But there was one year when I was in high school that I applied for nuisance tags.
Okay.
And the DNR came in and met me at the farm and literally rode around the edge of our fields to assess the damage.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me zip ties, like 10 of them.
Yeah.
Like, just go kill them.
Yeah.
You don't even have to process them, they said. Leave them lay. They're nuisance deer. We're killing them because they're overpopulated. Kill them. And I thought it was cool for a minute, but deer hunting in July is not fun.
Right. Right.
It's hot. It's buggy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just deer hunting in July. I thought it was going to be really, really cool to be able to, go kill some nuisance deer, and I did.
Yeah.
But that was the only time I did it because I was like, you know what? This isn't as enjoyable as hunting in the fall.
Right.
But I have done it.
I'm a fan of it. I how do you say it? As enjoyers of land,
Yeah.
hunters and farmers seem to be not on the same page.
Not always, no.
Especially if you look at the Farm Bureau,
Right.
who, has a large lobby, and they make things happen for farmers.
Yep.
But they don't really look at their land having any value with regard to, hunting.
Recreation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, as a hunter, I think is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
But with a nuisance permit, controlling doe numbers,
Correct.
doing it at the right time of year,
Correct.
the later the better.
Yep.
I don't know that it's really going to hurt the hunting.
No.
Not
at all.
You go out 3, 4, or 5 times,
Yep.
pop 10, 12, 15 does.
Yep.
Fawns are old enough to survive.
Correct.
Sure, their odds aren't as good, but
Right.
you can only do what you can do.
Right.
So then when you get into a nuisance permit situation, there's less pressure on a bow hunter to go out and kill all of these does.
Because they've already taken care of it.
And it makes your hunting better.
Yes.
It makes your bucks thrive.
Yes.
It makes your deer population thrive, especially if you're on a habitat situation where, you start to see browse lines.
Yep.
If you're seeing a browse line in a type of terrain that you're hunting or the type of terrain that we're hunting,
Mm-hmm.
that's a high traffic area
Right.
that you need to pay attention to. Minimum a camera, because deer are moving through there like crazy. And then B, you got to start thinking about what are these deer eating in February?
Right.
Because if there's a browse line that's showing limited food, so these deer are either migrating off of you or they're not getting the nutrition that they need.
Huge.
Yeah. We're going to take another break real quick, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers, where the mission is simple: kill big deer, and I help buyers and sellers as a broker with land and home real estate. For those of you just joining, Cody Meyer, Select Lawn Service, Big Hunter. We've been talking a lot of topics. Cody, I want to ask you about October. You have had a busy year.
Yep.
You're just now starting to get your cameras out.
Yep.
You know, when it comes to selecting a deer,
Yep.
you know, do you hunt October a lot?
I used to,
Okay.
because I was excited.
Yes.
October 1st, deer season's here.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And I burn out way quick.
Okay.
I would get so excited for deer season.
Yeah.
I'd get cold sores on my lip because I would get so stressed out, like excited and just like, let's go. You know, I was getting hyped.
Yeah.
You know, one more day. Deer season's coming in tomorrow.
Right.
Hunt. Hard. Early October. It's not what I do anymore.
Okay.
I have found that I would rather pace myself. And anymore, I'm so busy in October with my lawn business and with farming. A lot of times I don't have time in October to hunt. I may not get that time till November. So if I'm hunting in October, if I've got the time and I've got the drive to go sit in October, there's two things that I'm thinking about on if I'm gonna harvest that deer or not. If it's a buck, it's got to be big enough to go on the wall. If I'm not gonna commit to spending $900 on a shoulder mount,
Right.
it walks.
Okay.
And that's bit me in the butt a couple times.
Yes.
Because I have killed a deer before that once everybody talks about it. Oh, it looked bigger from the stand, you know. Adrenaline got me, whatever.
Yeah.
And you walk up on it, and maybe it's not quite as big as you thought it was, or it looked bigger in the camera photos.
Or he did something that you thought only a mature buck is going to do.
He's rubbing a tree down like a just the most dominant buck in there, you know.
Yep.
And if that happens, I stick to what I told myself. Say I kill a deer that only goes 130 and I thought he was closer to 150. I put him on the ground and he's got bone on his head. I'm taking him to the taxidermist.
Right.
Maybe I'll learn my lesson. Next time you're going to judge a little bit better because it's not going to cost you $900.
Right.
You know, or whatever. So basically I'm to the point now to where I just say, if I'm going to kill a buck, I respect it enough to put it on my wall. And I really, really think about that now because I'm running out of wall space. So do I have enough wall space for this deer?
Yeah.
Is he going to fit in with the 160 and 150, 160, 170 inch deer that are on my wall? Is he going to fit in with those deer, or am I going to go, ugh? So that's how I look at a buck. Now, if it's a doe and it's October, I look at two things. What's the temperature? Is it 80 degrees outside, which it a lot of times is in October, or is it 50 degrees outside? If it's 80 degrees outside, I'm not shooting a doe. I'm hoping that wall hanger buck happens to come by.
Right.
So typically in October, if I'm hunting, period, it's cool.
Okay.
And then the other thing with the doe is, again, as I get older, I find myself, whether you want to call it smart or lazy, where am I hunting at? Am I in a bottom where it's going to be just a pain in the butt to drag something out? Or am I on a field edge where if I shoot one, I can drive right to her? So if I'm on a field edge and it's cool and I either need the meat myself or I've got an acquaintance that wants some venison,
Right.
I'll take a doe.
Yeah.
Drive up to her, zipper open, gutter, put her in the truck, out I go. But if it's going to cause me to sweat and do a bunch of extra work to get her out of the woods, she's probably walking.
Yeah.
Now, later in the season, November, December, when it's cold, I'm more apt to shoot a doe then. And also because I don't have to do something with her right away. I like to let my deer hang for 2-3 days on a gambrel propped open, 30, 40 degrees.
Yeah.
I like to let them hang for a bit. I really don't. I mean, if it's warm, you got to get in there and you got to process that deer quick.
Right.
Or have a cooler.
Right.
And I don't have a cooler. I might have one this year, but in the past I haven't. So it's either take care of her or it's cold enough to let it hang.
Right.
So those are kind of my factors. The buck factor, it's in play no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's October 1st or if it's January 1st, if it's 80 degrees or if it's -10. If it's not going on the wall, my mindset is don't shoot it.
Right.
Does, do I have enough meat? Do I have people that would like meat? What's the temperature outside? What's the accessibility where I'm hunting?
Right.
So those are kind of my factors.
Now, do you have any bucks selected for the fall?
For this year?
Yeah.
Nope.
Really?
I've got 10 cameras out. Nah, I don't even think it's 10. I think it's 8. I've got 8 cameras out. They've only been out for about a week.
Okay.
And I've got some nice deer.
Okay.
But I don't have any jaw droppers yet.
Okay.
Usually, I will have a deer that I'm like, oh, I'm excited about.
Yeah.
That's a 180-inch deer.
Right.
That's a 100. I had a deer 2 years ago that had a drop tine off one side. I hate using the phrase 200 because 200 inch. Everybody,
right.
What's your 200? I had a deer a couple of years ago that would go 200.
Yeah.
And he disappeared. Like a week into October, he disappeared. I wasn't the only one that had him on camera. Neighbors tend to like to be quiet when they have a nice deer on camera. They don't want to say too much.
Right.
Every year, I usually have at least a deer, if not 2, that's 160 or better.
Yeah.
And so far this year, it's early for me because I don't have hardly anything out yet. But I don't have anything this year that's got the saliva running out of my mouth.
Okay. Any big sheds that you found last season?
I did find a real nice shed last season. So when I was younger, like college high, I'm 36. When I was in college, we had a 200-inch deer that was on one of our farms.
Yeah.
And I was able to find a shed off of one of his sides.
Oh, wow.
But some people get into shed hunting real big. I look a few times a year.
Make sure the field's clear for the tractors.
Make sure the field's clear. Again, I'm getting lazier as I get older. Some people will walk miles for piles. They say,
right.
We're going to walk. You ain't going to catch me walking. I'm sorry. You ain't catching me walking.
Yeah.
I'll walk a little cove or I'll walk a little area that I know is kind of a high traffic spot. But just to walk and walk and walk and walk to look for sheds, you gotta no, ain't happening.
Right.
I'm on the 4-wheeler. I'm scanning. I'm looking for sheds that way, and I go a couple times a year. And what I find. And then you got other guys that just find stacks and stacks and stacks of them. And it's like, man, I don't know how in the world you have the time for that.
There are people that's their favorite season.
They almost like that more than hunting.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And I guess there's money in it. People buy, they'll buy the sheds if they're so big, or they'll buy the small pieces for, chalk or hobby, like they use it in like hobby stuff. And
yeah.
There's a whole world for sheds out there. I never got into it.
Right.
But man, I'm telling you, there's people that are.
Okay. So how are you going to go into this season? 10 cameras, you got 20 more to go.
Yeah.
You haven't identified a particular deer. You said you found one good shed last year, so he might be on the radar.
I know a couple good deer from last year have made it.
Okay.
I just haven't seen them yet this year.
Yeah.
Again, I just have my easy cameras out right now. I have the ones that I have easy access to out right now.
Do you kind of hunt? So are you going to kind of hunt Are you going to ease into it based off of what they did last year, or what's your strategy there?
Well, my strategy really isn't, I really don't have a per se strategy anymore.
Okay.
I don't. When I was younger, so when I used to work my previous job, I used to think that by starting my own business, I was going to gain free time. I would be able to hunt when I wanted, and I would be able to strategize better because I don't have to be at work at 7 a.m. and I'm not obligated to be there till 4 when I can leave.
Right.
I had much more freedom when I worked my previous job.
Oh, yeah.
Because I dedicated my time 7 to 4.
Right.
Outside of those parameters and weekends was my time. Now that I own my business, I don't have my time anymore.
Right.
I have so much work I got to do, and that's all I'm thinking about.
Right.
I'm doing my schools on the weekend. I'm doing my banks on the weekend. I'm doing my businesses on the weekend when there's no people there.
Yeah.
That's when I want to be there, when there's no people there.
Right.
Well, guess what else is a good thing to do on the weekends? Hunt.
Right.
Okay, so am I going to put hunting first, or am I going to put my job first? Man, I'd sure love to be hunting today.
I know.
It's 40 degrees, but man, it's a beautiful day to put fertilizer down too.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, I go to work.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
And, same way with during the week. If it's a nice day, I'm working. If it's raining, I take, well, guess what's the crappiest time to deer hunt? When it's raining. Who wants to deer hunt in the rain? So my strategy anymore is kind of shot to crap because my work schedule and my busy season is deer season. Some people slow down in the fall. I get busy.
Right.
So not only am I trying to hunt, I'm trying to get crap done.
Yeah.
And it's a battle. And so my strategy a lot of the time is just when do I not feel guilty about not going to work?
Right.
I'm sitting in that deer stand and I'm thinking to myself, I could be getting a lot done today.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this.
It's hard.
There's a lot of enjoyment of just going out there, sitting in a stand.
Oh, absolutely.
When you can let your mind go.
Yep.
And you're not thinking about all the other things in the world.
Yep.
And just put yourself in the best place where you feel you have the best odds.
Yep.
Like you're saying, you're not out there a lot, so you don't have spook deer.
Right.
They aren't conditioned to you.
Correct.
So it's a surprise, but just the enjoyment of taking some breaths.
Right.
Thinking about the good things that are going on in the world, the blessings that we have. That to me has become the most enjoyable part of hunting.
And that's why October is not my favorite time anymore.
Yeah.
I'm so busy in October. I can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because my mind is racing thinking about all the other stuff I could be doing.
Yeah.
That I need to do. This person's waiting on me. This field's ready. I need to be getting it out.
Yeah.
My mind, I can't enjoy it because my mind isn't there.
Right.
I'm in the stand.
Yeah.
If a large buck, if a shooter buck would walk by, I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
But I'm not I'm not there.
Right.
Mentally, I'm somewhere else. When my work is done, and I can go,
yes,
I'm done. I just did my last yard for the year. I just finished my last fertilizer. We just took out the last crop.
Yep.
When that moment hits, which is usually in mid-November, which is typically, most bow hunters are thinking, man, if I don't have a deer killed by the time shotgun season comes in, I'm not doing something right. And usually that's the time of year when I'm finally to a point where I can breathe again. So it's usually mid-November before I get to a point where I can enjoy hunting because my mind's back in it.
Right.
And I'm not thinking about all the other junk that I could be doing.
Yeah.
So I find balance. I do make it work to hunt some before then, but man, it's not like it used to be.
Right.
I find myself hunting and pursuing bigger deer later and later in the season instead of getting right out there off the crack of the whip the first part of October like I used to.
Yeah, post rut's my favorite time to hunt
Yeah.
personally. But hey, man, I appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely.
And,
It's been a blast.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have you on again because I feel like we could talk for hours.
I live a mile away.
All right, that sounds awesome. Well, thanks again.
You bet.